track temperature's decreasing. It's now 21 Celsius. Pit lane speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour. We've got 2 laps to get the job done. Okay, Dennis, we need to watch these track limits. The leader's just done a 142.84. Front left, 97%. Left rear, 97. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. Car number 1440 minutes. Rolling start, get ready. We need to follow car number 10 in the right lane. The safety car speed is 75 kilometers per hour. nice and neat, stay out of trouble. Green, green, green! Pit exit is clear. There's an incident in turn 3. It looks like the yellow. Okay, Dennis. The next car is Gunter, car number 22. The start's alright. Let's build on it. Incident in Samsung. Looks like it's Gustafsson, yellow flag. The gap to Gunter ahead is now 3.5 seconds. There's an incident in Portimao. We think it might be Gustafsson. P21. There's an incident in turn 4. It looks like Paradise. Sector 1 time's okay. There's an incident in Portimao. The gap to B19 ahead is increasing. It's now incident in Torvit. We think it might be the yellow. There's an incident in turn 12. Your lap time was 1:45.11. Sector 3 is 3.1 off the pace. Sector 1 time is good. The gap in front is now 4.9 seconds. gap to Gunter ahead is now 4.9. You're a tenth off the pace in sector 2. The gap ahead is now 4.9 seconds. The gap to P18 in front is now 5.0 seconds. That's the fastest lap. That lap was a 1:44.45. Sector 3 is 2.9 seconds off the pace. Okay, Dennis, the fuel window opens on lap 8 and it should close on lap 16. Track limits. The gap in front is now 4.8 seconds. The gap to P18 in front is now 4.9. The gap in front is now 5.0. The gap to 18th ahead is increasing. It's now 5.5 seconds. The gap ahead is now 5.5. Gap to P18 ahead is now 5.8 seconds. Sector 1 is quick. The gap to Gunter ahead is now 5.7. The gap in front is now 5.7 seconds. We need to find a 10th in sector 2. The gap to Gunter ahead is now 5.9. The gap in front is now 5.8 seconds. That was a 1:44.77. Sector 1 is 0.8 off the pace. You're reeling, Gunter in. The gap is now 5.6 seconds. Okay, Dennis, you're reeling, Gunter in. The gap is 5.4 seconds. The gap to Gunter in front is now 5.4. Gap to 18th, ahead is now 5.8. The gap to Gunter ahead is now 5.9 seconds. Your last lap time was at 1:44.49. Sector 3 is 0.7 off the pace. Incident in Torvik. Looks like it's Zolt. The gap ahead is now 5.9. Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace. The gap in front is now 6.0 seconds. The gap to Gunter ahead is increasing. It's now 6.4 seconds. Sector 2 is 1.0 seconds off the pace. The gap to Gunter ahead is increasing. It's now 6.8 seconds. The track temp's increasing. It's now 23 Celsius. The gap to Gunter ahead is now 6.8 E19. That lap was at 1:45.31. Sector 2 is 0.9 off the pace. Okay, Dennis, pit window open. Gap to P18 in front is now 6.6. The gap to Gunter in front is now 6.8 seconds. The gap to Gunter ahead is now 7.0. We should come out into position 19, a few seconds behind Mendes. Sector 2's 0.2 off the pace. The gap to P18 ahead is increasing. It's now 7.4 seconds. The gap in front is now 7.4. That lap was at 1:44.80. Sectors 1 and 3 are 0.6 off the pace. You're a 10th off the pace in Sector 2. The gap ahead is now 7.3 seconds. The gap to Gunter ahead is now 7.5. gap to Gunter ahead is now 7.6. Okay, Dennis, you've used half your fuel. The gap in front is now 8.0 seconds. The gap to the 18 ahead is now 7.9. That lap time was 1:44.90. Sectors 1 and 3 are 0.5 off the pace. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 2. You're reeling Gunter in. The gap's now 7.5 seconds. The gap to Gunter in front is now 7.5. The gap ahead is now 7.3. The gap in front is now 7.0 seconds. Alright Dennis, you're reeling Gunter in. The gap is now 6.9 seconds. That lap was at 1:44.68. Sector 3 is 0.42 off the pace. You're reeling 18th in. The gap is 6.7 seconds. Sector 1 is 0.42 off the pace. The car ahead is Osborne, car number 21. Track limits, watch those lines. The gap in front is now 5.4 seconds. P18. That's 20 minutes to go, 20 minutes. Alright Dennis, you're reeling P17 in. The gap's now 4.3 seconds. To Osborne ahead is now 4.1 seconds. P17, that's half distance, should be about 5 laps of fuel remaining. That was 144.92. Lap times are pretty consistent. Reeling Osborne in. The gap is now 2.5. Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace. The gap in front is now 2.5. The gap to 15th place in front is now 2.3. E14, you've got about 3 laps of fuel left. You've just done a 145.29. Sector 3 is 0.7 off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace. Okay Dennis, you're reeling V13 in. The gap's now 1.8. Osborne ahead is pitting. 15 minutes left. Thirteenth place. Only 2 laps of fuel left. Sector 1 is 0.7 off the pace. The leader, Mendes, is pitting. Sergey, car number 6, is now leading. P13 is getting closer. The gap's come down to 7.8 seconds. P13 is gaining on you. The gap is now 7.7. P12, only 2 more laps of fuel. That last lap was at 1:45.72. Sector 3 is 0.7 off the pace. Is pitting from position 4. He should come out close in front of you. Sector 2 is 0.5 off the pace. P11 is reeling you in. The gap's now 0.7. He's faster than you, entering turn 13. Car number 18 is closing the gap. It's now 0.8. E9, you've only got enough fuel for this lap. You've just done a 1:45.07. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace. The gap to 7th position. Behind is now 0.7. Sector 1 is 0.5 off the pace. Okay, Dennis, don't let this guy distract you. Two litres remaining. The leader, Tanio, is pitting. You have 6 incident points. Car left, clear left. In this lap, box this lap. To go. That's 10 minutes left. 1 litre remaining. The car in front is car number 3, and their rating is 2.1. Pit lane speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour. 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now. Left front 76%. Rear left 75. Pit exit's clear. Push. Okay, Dennis, the next car is Osborne, car number 21. Mendes, car number 1, is leading the race. So result behind is now 5.0 seconds. The gap to result behind is now 6.0 seconds. 17th place. Sector 1 is 0.5 off the pace. The gap to result behind is increasing. It's now 6.4. The gap to result behind is now 6.4 seconds. Sector 2 is 0.48 off the pace. The active result behind is now 6.8. You're reeling P16 in. The gap is now 7.8. That lap time was 1:45.10. You're a tenth off the pace in Sector 3. Okay, Dennis, you're reeling P16 in. The gap is 7.5 seconds. 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. The gap to 16th place. Ahead is now 7.4 seconds. The gap to Osborne ahead is now 7.1 seconds. Osborne in. The gap's now 6.8 seconds. You're reeling Osborne in. The gap is now 6.7. You've just done a 1:45.28. Okay, Dennis, you're reeling Osborne in. The gap is 6.6 seconds. You've got half your fuel left. You're reeling E16 in. The gap is now 6.5. The gap in front is now 6.4 seconds. Sector 2 is 0.7 off the pace. Alright Dennis, you're reeling 16th place in. The gap's now 5.8 seconds. Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go. That was a 1:45.43. Sector 1 is 0.8 off the pace. Sector 1 is 1.4 seconds off the pace. One more to go. Your lap time was 1:46.39. Your lap times have gone to crap. Come on, slow down.
Buona carrera, chavales.
In. The gap is 4.2.
Good race, Adam. Thought you were going to get me at the end.
17th place. That's it. We're done. That's the end of the session.